Will I? Okay, so I'm going to start by making a new website. We're just going to go through it from scratch. And this will take just a second, but I'm just going to start with a new Drupal 8 install. We're going to call this site Drupal 8. I'm just going to go through and make all these things simple and straightforward. I'm going to use PHP 7 because why not? And now it's going to download it. And then, like you were saying earlier, this is just copying all the files into place, and then I'm going to visit in my browser install.php. And that's how we really get started. It used to forward you to install.php if you tried to visit the domain, but now I think you have to go there explicitly. Let's see. Let's just watch this work. Yeah, so my idea for what I'd talk about tonight is when you install Drupal with the standard install profile, you get two content types out of the box. The article, which is like a blog post, and a basic page, which is just like an About Us page. But the article content type comes with a few fields already set up. And so what I was thinking is that we would look at those, and then I'm going to delete those, and we're going to remake them. And then after I do that, and we go through those fields, I'm going to make a new content type called movie review, because why not? Where we get to play with some other fields and talk about why you might use them. But the first thing we're going to do is wait for this to download. Pause the tape. Yeah. And if you got any specific questions or anything at all, just throw it out there.
As we wait for things to download.
Yeah.
If you do like a quick introduction of who you are.
Oh yes, my name is Jonathan Daggerhart, and I am a longtime Drupal developer here in Asheville, North Carolina. We are the Asheville Drupal Users Group.
And we find this very funny.
Being recorded is hilarious. I don't know why you're not laughing, frankly. What's your name?
My name?
Yeah.
I have a name.
Yes. I hope.
My name is Stuart. I am not a Drupal developer.
Oh, yes?
I just
What?
pretend to be one sometimes.
You're a poser.
Gotcha.
What?
You're a poser.
I'm a site builder. That's like a poser.
No, it's not.
That's not fair. Site building in Drupal is a legit job. You could easily work your whole career as a site builder.
That's the power.
Absolutely.
Are you sure that this is doing anything?
I'm not sure about that at all. No.
You were downloading before, now it's extracting.
Okay, yeah.
It'll probably jump all the way to the end when it's
Right. And I could go to the site that's already installed and just be like, look.
I bet if you visited the install page, it would ask you to install another like multi-site. And it would give you the same options.
Let's see. I think Acquia Dev Desktop is busy right now.
It's crashed.
Ah. That's as busy as it can be. From the top, Acquia. If I can just delete the database, we can just reinstall, and that'll be all we need. I think this is a lesson learning meetup for all of us. We didn't know we were going to have to use the school's computer. So this is it's a surprise. Is it just, yeah, just IE's the problem. Can you believe that?
No.
All right, let's drop this whole thing. Okay, so let's see if this is right. Nope. Is Apache not working? PHP My Admin worked, so Apache was working.
Just click on the link at the top.
Oh yeah, wrong
It's got a
port.
port in it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Midnight.
Nope, we're not gonna, not like this. Okay. Yeah, so basically to do the install, once you copy the files over, there might be a few more steps. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think, because you said you just basically unzipped it on your GoDaddy server. Is that right?
Yeah, I unzipped it actually locally and then moved them all up to the.
There might be a few other steps because of settings.php and whatnot.
Okay.
Defining your database.
Right. I'm trying to just picture in my mind what problems you might run into. Really, this page should tell you. So once you put it somewhere on your server, just go to /install, and that should even take you here. Let me double check that. You shouldn't have to do core install. Yeah, if you just go to install.php, it'll forward you to this page, and then you can click through to install. So out of the box, Drupal comes with 2 install profiles. And what those are, you may already know, but install profiles, I'm going to say for the tape. Install profiles are pre-configured Drupal installations, essentially. They come with modules. They may come with like already set up views and panels or content types. They may come set up with fields. They may come set up with e-commerce ready to go. In fact, there is a Drupal install profile called Commerce Kickstart. I don't know if it exists for 8 yet, but that is a great way to explore the Drupal Commerce module. And I guess Drupal 8, it didn't offer me a choice of profile, so it doesn't have a minimum profile, a minimal.
It may, whenever you built the site in Acquia Dev Desktop, I believe you picked the distribution that you wanted to run, so maybe that's, so like Lightning, and they were all listed there.
Right, okay.
So maybe just because you use Acquia Dev Desktop, it already chose it for you.
Probably. All right, and the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few steps to be able to install this module right here, the admin toolbar module. That's going to turn all of our navigation into this nice drop-down menu. It's going to make everything a whole lot easier. Get this over here. Get rid of that. You going through all the updates?
No, I'm still trying to log in to my host.
Gotcha. The tour module. What's that?
It gives you the little pop-up flags when you go to the site, and it takes, as you go to the next one, it takes you to a different area. Sort of tell you how to use the website.
Okay. So this is the initial site information setup where you would, go through the normal stuff. I'm just going to go right through this. Let's see how strong it thinks my password is. Weak. It's too bad, because I'm using it. Yeah. So this, these two things at the very bottom, this check for updates automatically actually enables a module for us. I'm going to turn this off right now so that we can enable it ourselves manually, so we know exactly what it's doing. Save through this. Cancel that.
And what's the name of that module?
The module is called the Update Manager, and it's really the very next thing I'm going to install. So here is your basic Drupal website. Ready to go. Bartik ready. Is this Bartik? Is that what we're calling it?
Not sure. You could go to appearance and see.
Yeah, let's find out what the name of this theme is. I feel like we could be much more casual if we weren't recording. Yeah, Bartik.
It's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Extend at the very top, which is where we're now, which is the top level menu item for the different modules, enabling and disabling modules. And in the core section, if I scroll down near the bottom, I'm going to see one called Update Manager. And enabling this will let us install other modules and themes easily within the interface.
Air quotes don't make the recording.
Exactly. Easily.
I'm just gonna have to say, the presenter did air quotes.
We need a little picture, video of him in the corner.
Yeah.
Technically, I could do this and yeah, no.
So you're familiar with your hosting and your PHPs and whatnot. So the way I'm going to show installing a module is one way through the UI, but you could just as easily unzip it into your modules folder within Drupal. But so I'm going to go up here to reports, and I'll see this available updates. And this is using, now we're in the update manager. I can click to install modules and themes. So we're almost done with this first important step, which is installing the admin toolbar. I'm going to go to its module page. I'm going to right click, copy the link for the zip file. Or, alternatively, you could download it and upload it to your site. I'm just going to paste this in there and click install. So that'll have Drupal, oh, well, I've already done it because I practiced. But that'll have Drupal download the module and put it in your modules folder for you. I'm just going to enable that real quick because it makes everything a lot easier. Okay. Admin toolbar extras. Now save. Or install, rather. All right, now we got drop downs, and life is good. All right. So I think we're. I'll wait. We are good to go as far as watching or looking at content types and fields. If you want to follow, it looks like you want to follow along, so we should definitely just do this together.
Just do what you want to do.
Then who am I even talking to?
Talk to the people out in the interwebs.
Yes, their internet. Okay, fine, I can do that. Okay, so by default, Drupal comes installed with 2 content types. What are content types, you asked? Thank you for asking. Content types are ways that we structure different pages, essentially, that you can visit on your website, or different sets of. It's an overly complicated way of describing it. But I think it'll make more sense if we try to create some content. So I'm going to start here at the very top and go to content and add content. And we can see that I immediately have, coming with Drupal, I have the article. I can create an article or a basic page. So I'm going to start by creating a basic page. And here we can see what it looks like to edit a piece of content in Drupal 8. The basic page content type is essentially designed to be static content, such as an About Us page. And so when you're creating, say, a simple brochure site, you would create an About Us page where you say things like Laura Mipson, and etc. You may insert an image into that page of your, I'd say probably of your penguins, I'm guessing. Yeah. And you can trust, alternate text that is required. Penguins. And we've got this nice little WYSIWYG editor here where we can highlight and bold stuff. And save and publish this content onto our. So we have created a page called About Us that
On US.
can be about US. They can be visited at this URL. So I'm going to dig in a little more to this content type and look at the right column here, because here in the right column you'll see different settings for this content that's generally available for any type of content type we make. So these settings allow you to place a link to About Us in the menu at the top. Tell it where it is, whether it's number 1 or number 2. And you can even give it a nicer URL as opposed to there's some different options as well that we'll look at /about later. But all these settings on the right are available for any content type. And this will make more sense as we look at other content types. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, keeping it published. And now we have a home page and we have an About Us page. The About Us page has its own fancy URL. So if you notice when looking at, now I'm going to make an article just to continue with this direction. So I'm going to go to content and add content and article. Now an article also has a title called, that we're going to name My First Blog Post. And it also has great content such as Laura Mipson. But in addition to those 2 things, it has tags and image fields. So you can imagine a tag as just some sort of categorization. So we're going to say that this is the category for this blog post is examples. And you can also upload images to, yeah, you can upload all the koalas you want right here to your article. And you'll notice on the right we have the same sort of settings. whether this is a new revision, we could add it to the menu. We could add this article to the menu if we wanted, that menu being the navigation at the top of the page. We can set up comments, whether comments are allowed on this article. We can also give it its own URL path, such as koala, and some additional information, such as promoted to the front. So the difference between a page and an article, the two content types that come with Drupal, is that an article has additional fields. It has the tags field. Note that here is my tag called examples, and it has the image field where I uploaded this koala. So now what I want to do is I want to look at the back end, sort of in the structure setting of the site here in the administration toolbar. And I want to look at the content types and see how those things are set up the way that they are. So if I go to structure and content types, see that I can add a new one, or I can explore the basic page in the article. And I'm going to start by looking at the basic page. So we got what this content type is called, a little description about it, the title field, what that is called, and some other general settings, such as when it's first created, it is published by default, and we always create a new revision when editing. You can choose these things. You can enable and disable these things as you need per content type. Also, there's some additional settings, such as do we want to say who the author and who the data information is, what menus this type of content is available to go into. So before it was set up like this for the page, and I'm going to leave that there and take a look at how that might differ from the article, the setup of the article content type. So an article still has a name and a description. The title field is called title, but we could change that if we wanted to. Just for the sake of seeing how this plays out, I'm going to make it article title. And the differences come into play by default in these publishing options, where an article is automatically promoted to the front page when created. And an article also, it displays the author and data information. So if we were to go look at the homepage of the site, we would see that played out. My first blog post is here on the homepage, and it tells me who created it and when it was created. Whereas if I go to this About page, it does not tell me who created it or when it was created. Nor does it appear here on the home page. So those are just the basic content type settings for these two default content types. And the tabs at the top let us really, is where the differences become powerful, where we can start flexing different content types into doing different things. So the basic page, I'm going to go back to basic page, and I'm going to click on Manage Fields tab at the top. And I'm going to see that the only field that exists for a page is the body. And we actually saw that when we created the About Us page. I'm going to go over to it and edit it. You can see that aside from the title, the only other field here is the body. Now, if I look at the article content type, and I manage fields here, we're going to see 4 fields. We have the body, we have the image field where we uploaded koalas, and we have the tags field, which is our categorization mechanism. And if I go to edit, let me back and edit this blog post, we'll see how these line up. So we have a body field, we have tags, we have an image field. So here is where you can make your content types different and work in different ways by adding fields to it. So I'm going to add a random field I'm going to add a field quickly to this article, but then I'm going to just delete it completely and start over. And we're going to rebuild this content type. We're going to build a whole new content type that we'll call blog post or something like that. Sorry, let me take a step back. So here on the Manage Fields page, there's a big Add Fields button at the top where I'm going to click, and now we are able to select the type of field we're going to add. There are many types of fields. Which field you use generally depends on what you need that field to accomplish in the grander scheme of things. For the sake of this 40 minutes remaining in this meetup, I'm not going to go through every type of field, but just do some basic ones. So here at the top, these general fields, let's see, Boolean is going to be a checkbox, true or false. You can imagine what date and email and links are. References and text. We're gonna add a new text field called something here. Let's do text formatted. We're gonna call this field my first field because we are not here for creativity. Save and continue. And now we go through the field settings where we can set a length, different number of values. We're going to leave that at 1 for now. I'm going to go ahead and save and keep going. We can set up some help text. This is very helpful. All right, that fell apart there. We can set the field to be required and so a default value that will be in the field when content is first created. So now our article has a new field called My First Field. And if I go back over to this article and click to edit it again, we'll see that that field has shown up. So that here is My First Field. So I'm going to add some content that I filled and save it. And let's see, I don't know if that field is going to show up on the page. Yeah, it did, beneath the comments. That's a useful place for that field to be. So, so now the next question is obviously like, how do I choose how that field is displayed or where that field is displayed? And that's going to be back in where I'm editing the article content type over here. And we're going to see Manage Display tab. We can manage the form itself and set up the form, arrange the fields in different orders. That's really useful if we were setting the site up for someone else to edit. I could say, well, I want my field to be all the way up here at the top. And so I just easily drag it here at the top and click Save. And additionally, the output is Manage Display, so the way it looks when shown on the page. So comments definitely should be at the bottom. My first field should be right there above the body. Image, my field, links. Let's put tags at the top. I think that's going to be great. Save. If I go back over here to this, edit and refresh, we should see that the output's changed to match the order that I just set that up in. Yeah, so tags at the top. That image is floating left for some reason. Image. I'm sure it's in Bartik. Surely this is not a setting. No. Oh, sorry, I just looked at something. I didn't tell you what I was looking at. So we've got the tags, we've got the image, and we've got my first field. And then the body down here and comments at the bottom. So additionally, I mean, here in the Manage Display, you can get a lot done. So subset of tabs here, you may not have noticed, but that I'm currently pointing out, where under Manage Display, we have different displays to look at. We can decide how this content looks by default when looking at the whole page as a teaser, which is looking at it on the home page, and even how it looks in an RSS feed, like which fields are present. To show that is to, I'm going to change the way the image looks in the teaser. And we're going to see this probably already set up differently. But yeah. So here on the right, so now I'm looking at the way the teaser is set up here. And here on the right, I can further configure how each field is displayed for this specific output. So I'm going to say that when looking at it, the image is going to be tiny. It's going to be a 100 by 100 thumbnail, and it will link to the content. And it'll also be, I'm going to do image and then tags and then body just to mix it up a little bit. Save this. So that now, if we look at our homepage where it's a list of blog posts, we'll see that the image is going to be 100 by 100. And if I click on it, I'm going to actually go visit that blog post where we'll see the image is 480 by 480. So here in the content, in a specific content types section under structure, content type, and whichever article is what we're looking at now, you can set up different fields that allow you to provide different types of content to that, different types of data to that content, as well as decide what that looks like when being output. You can rearrange things, you can hide labels, show labels. We could say that the image itself is not shown at all in the teaser. So that if we were to go back to our homepage, we would see just the blog post title and the tags and the body. So this section under structure and content types is where you will get a ton of mileage out of building and setting up your Drupal website. And for the sake of time, I'm not actually going to delete these two content types. I'm not going to, the page and the article, I'm going to leave them alone, but I am going to make a new content type from scratch. To do that, I'm going to go to structure at the top and content types and add content type. And I want to make a content type called movie review, which is a bit specific, but maybe setting up a brand new movie review website. This is going to be my opinion about a single specific movie. So here I'm going to change the title field label. I'm just going to go through all these settings and set it up the way that I think I would a movie review site. So that's what you call a movie, right? Like Fight Club is the title of the movie or the name of the movie, or both? Either. Boom. All right. And I'm going to say it's published and it's promoted to the front because I want it to be mixed in with my blog post on the front page. Each time I edit it, it'll create a new revision. And yeah, we'll go ahead and display that as well. So this all looks great. I'm going to go ahead and click Save and manage the fields for my movie review. So every movie out there has a few things that that are important to it. Really, just to showcase, to make it interesting as content on my website. I'm going to add a new field to add an image to this type of content type. For the movie poster. So I could go here to adding a new field. I could add an image like this. Alternatively, just for the sake of argument, since I already have an image field on the website, I could choose to reuse this field if I wanted. Field that is currently being used in the article content type. I'm going to go ahead and choose to reuse it. Is that confusing or more or less confusing?
It's fine.
Okay. But for this content type, we're going to call it the poster. So I'm going to save and continue. And the help text for this will be upload the movie poster. Required on this content type. And so we can get really nitty gritty with what's allowed in this field or not. I think GIFs, JPEGs, and JPEGs is fine. I could set up a maximum resolution, let's say 30,000 by 30,000. No more than that. And no less than 25 by 25. I have standards. It's a wide range of standards. But you could imagine that you could get pretty specific with that if you wanted. Maximum upload size, let's see. Currently it is set to 2 megabytes. That's going to be the limit set up by my server. So I'm just going to leave that alone for now. And I will allow for an alt and a title field. I'm going to save that. So I'm going to try to set up as much of this content type as I can with it just kind of blind. I'm just going to stay in this section until I'm ready to create my first movie review. So we got a movie poster. We got the body, which is going to be my opinion. And now I'm going to make a simple. Now I'm going to add a new type of field based on a number of some sort. So I'm going to say that my movie review is going to be between 1 and 5 stars. You like 1 and 5 or 1 and 10? What do you? Who cares?
5.
1 and 5. Okay. So I'm going to add a new field, a number integer field, which means that the data being saved in the database is, we'll just call it rating, is has to be a number, a whole number, an integer. This only has one value because there's only going to be one rating. This is my personal rating of this movie. And I'm going to set up a list of allowed values. So the minimum value is going to be 1. The maximum value is going to be 5. On a scale of 1 to 5. Oh, I did this as a text field. I was thinking of a list. This will be fun. We'll keep going.
You can make the suffix stars if you want to give it stars. Sorry, that was air quotes stars.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm going to give this 1 to 5 stars. All right, so we got that. And there's one more field I want to add, I think is pretty important, is the movie genre. So now there's a few ways I could do this. I could add a simple text field where we're going to have to type in the word comedy or war. That's a genre, right? A war movie each time. But really what I'd rather do is I'd rather have a site to where the genre itself is a link. And so you can see a list of every comedy that I've reviewed in the system. So I'm going to set up a new taxonomy. It's gonna sound more complicated than it is. So I'm just gonna go up here and go to structure and taxonomy and add new vocabulary because we use 2 words for the same thing. And that vocabulary is gonna be called genre. Save. All right, and that's it. I'm just gonna leave that alone. I've created a new taxonomy, which is just a container for terms or categories or whatever you want to call it. And in our case, it is called genre.
Taxonomy is the entity type and vocabulary is the bundle. They're not really the same thing.
A term is an entity type, right? The
Well,
vocab
no, a term is an entity.
term is an
The
entity.
individuality.
Vocabulary. So taxonomy is the
Taxonomy is like node.
right.
Vocabulary is like content type.
Okay. Right. Yes. Thank you. Okay. And term is like node one.
Yes.
Okay. So not exactly the same.
I'm not being pedantic at all.
No, none of us are. Okay, so I've just all I did was create a new vocabulary called genre, and I haven't done anything with it yet. But now since it exists, I can add a field to this movie review content type that lets me add new tags essentially into that category, into that vocabulary. Too many words. So I'm going to go and I'm going to select, this is where we're going to get to look at one of the reference fields. So I'm going to select a reference field called taxonomy term. I'm going to label this field genre. And so what's actually I'll explain what's actually happening behind the scenes here, but we actually know that a movie can exist in more than one genre. But I'm going to say no more than 3, right? I don't know. I'm getting a lot of shaking heads here. I know y'all can't see that on the live feed.
A lot of them.
Yeah. Okay, so actually, let me just change this to unlimited. I'm going to say that a movie can have unlimited genres. We'll get to look to see how this taxonomy field is going to get set up. Say provide a list of genres for this movie. But in what way are we going to provide a list? Okay, reference method, here we go. We're going to create reference entities if they don't exist. And the available vocabularies are genre, which is what we just made. I don't know why I really need to capitalize that though. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and click save. All right, so this, to me, this looks like a pretty decent content type. Is there anything else y'all think I might need in my movie review content type? We can upload the poster and we can make tags for what genre.
You could have a field for the director.
Let's do that. I'm gonna add a new field. We're gonna make it just a text field just to keep it simple.
Sure.
But
you might want to search on it.
yeah, I think that's a great idea. So select field type. I'm gonna go look in here for just text plain, regular plain text. This field will be the name of the director in this movie. Name of the movie.
What if there are multiple directors?
Comma, separate multiple directors.
It's just plain text. You can do whatever.
Yeah, you could.
But you could change your limit settings.
Yeah, let's do that. That's better. I'm
Although
gonna.
that gets confusing when you have like things like the Wachowskis.
Especially the Wachowskis.
Yeah.
When they change their names, when they change their gender.
I mean, yeah, I would. Honestly, I would probably set up if this was straight up for real. I'd probably set up director as a taxonomy.
You should.
Or even a content type. It could be
Yeah.
a taxonomy or a content type in this case.
Absolutely, content type would be good.
You could show them how to do references.
Let's actually, okay, so for this, we got plenty of time to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete this
15
field.
minutes.
Don't worry, I'm good at this. I'm going to delete this field, and we're going to add a director a content reference next. Okay, first thing, so I need to make one of these pieces of content. So I'm going to go check out the homepage. And then I'm going to go to content and add a movie review. All right, and this movie is going to be called Fight Club because it's the only movie I have in mind. Do y'all have a better movie you'd like for me to Google? You want to keep it? Let's make it complicated, and let's say The Matrix. That way we get to use that complicated example that we just talked about. The Matrix. Give me that. Yeah, we'll call it images. Great. All right, so this movie is going to be called The Matrix. And my thoughts on it are Laura Mibson
That's it.
/ It Rocks. It changed everything forever. One word. And I mean, it's a good movie, don't get me wrong.
I saw it 8 times in the theater. It's like,
Yeah.
Not only did you keep count, but you remember.
it's the only movie I've ever done that in 3 weeks to see that many times.
All right, and my rating on 1 through 5 is, what do y'all think? 5, right?
Sounds like a 5.
Yeah, 5. And its genre is action, which doesn't exist, but they will exist after we add it.
Science fiction.
Let's just go action and science fiction for now. And we'll add another movie also. Because that'll prove what this category thing, this genre thing is doing. So save and publish it. Let's see what it looks like. Look at that. 5 stars. With a and it's categorized in the action and science fiction genres.
Perhaps you should remove the movie poster label.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you don't need to know that that's a movie poster. Good idea. So let's go back over here to our content type, and let's manage the output a little bit more.
There is no new.
So we don't need to know that this is a movie poster. I think that's obvious. So I'm going to hide the label here in the label column for that. And what else? Well, the original image could be up to 30,000 pixels wide. So we should probably limit it to some extent and say that it's only shown as a large image. Save that and see what this looks like now. There we go.
I think you should link the image to your Amazon affiliate.
Yeah.
Monetize.
Yeah. I could do that, not in 20 minutes though. But that's actually a great idea. I should do that. So really what I wanted to show was, what I want to show off is this whole taxonomy thing that we did here, because whole new terms we create them in the genre vocabulary called action and science fiction that we can further categorize things, other movie reviews into. So for example, if I were to create another movie review, let's do it from here. I need some tabs. Add content, movie review. And if I scroll down here to the bottom with genres and I start typing sci, it'll provide me, it'll autocomplete / provide me an existing genre so that it matches up exactly. So let's think about a sci-fi movie. What's a sci-fi comedy? Galaxy Quest? That way.
That's an old one.
Spaceball.
That's old too.
Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, it is. Poster. Save image. Oh, there it is. All right, we will call this images 2, my categorization. So this was funny. I'd give it, compared to the matrix, this is where we got to start having some standards. It's a 4. I mean, it's good and all, but let me upload this movie poster here. Quest, Star Trek parody, Galaxy Quest. I put more information about the movie in the image text. So it's sci-fi, but it's not actually, it's comedy, yeah. So we're using an existing taxonomy term, but we're also creating a new one at the same time. Go ahead and save and publish that. We are. And since we use the taxonomy reference for the genre field, now if we click on science fiction, we land on this nice page that has all of our science fiction movie reviews. And this is being shown as the teaser. So this is the teaser for each of these nodes in the content type. So I don't want my teasers to be empty of pretty things. So I'm going to go I'm going to go manage the display of this content type, and I'm going to edit the teaser. And I want to make sure that we see the movie poster in the teaser. So I'm going to throw that in there. We don't need to see the label that it is a movie poster. And we want it to be small because it's fitting into a small list. Let's give it a thumbnail. And let's go ahead and make the image itself link to the movie review, which is the content. Update that, save here. And so what we'll see is that both in my list of wherever I'm keeping my list of things, there it is. In my science fiction list, I have the movie poster. And also on the site homepage, the teaser for my movie reviews is showing the poster, along with my blog post. So this is good stuff. So any questions about this content type called movie review we just set up, or any of the fields that we made for it?
Why was there a 3 in parentheses next to science fiction?
Yeah, so what that's telling me is that this, it's the ID of that term. So if I go look, see action is number 2 and science fiction is number 3.
There wasn't a number 1. That's why I was confused, because there was only 2 that we had set up.
That's because they have a unique ID with all taxonomy terms across the system. And the very first taxonomy term I made was examples, and it got the ID of 1. Yeah, so if I go back here and look at my list of genres, comedy now exists, and I can reuse these over and over again. So in the example that someone offered earlier, what if we want to keep track of directors in all these movies? And directors have more data than just a name, like a taxonomy term might have. And there's a lot of ways to skin this banana. It seems like skinning a cat. It just seems mean. But the way we're going to do it is to create a new content type. So we're going to go to structure and content types and add a new content type that we will call movie director. And the title will be their full name. And we actually don't need to promote this to the front page. We don't want every single movie director to go to the front page. And we don't care who created the movie director. So let me just save. I'm going to go ahead and save this content type. So we have the title and we have the body. And the body, the field itself is fine. We want a long description of this, but we don't want to call it the body. Instead, we want to call it a bio. So it's the same field, but I just changed its label. And you can see that these fields also have the body field built into any new content type has the same sort of settings that any new field you make would have. So you can make the body field required or not. You can allow for a summary or not. I'm just going to keep it simple. Mainly, I just wanted to change it to director bio. So I'm going to go ahead and create a director. I'm going to go to content, add new content, and movie director. And we're going to call this, Wachowski's is by far the most complicated one we could have done. What is her name?
Lana.
Lana? Ooh, can anybody spell Wachowski?
Just do the IMDb. Look it up.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because we're gonna, because it's Larry, Lana, but I don't remember the other names.
Yeah. Let's see what it says here.
Lily.
Lana.
Yeah, Lily was the other.
Okay. So let's just copy that so that we get it just right. Okay, so this will work. So Lana Krakowski, we got, let's get a little bio from her. We don't have time to write our own. But I mean, we could fill this out. We could add a picture of the director. I mean, you saw that we can make our content types whatever they need to be. But I'm just going to throw that in there. Look, we get the links and everything. No. There we go. So that we've got this director. Bam, we've created this. And I'm going to go ahead and add the other Wachowski as well, right? Let's look at Lily. I don't know why that top 5,000's got to be in there. I'm going to add a new movie director. Content, add content, movie director. We're going to add Lily Wachowski. A little bit about her. That'll be enough. Lana. Save and publish. Okay, so we've got two movie directors. They're not showing up anywhere on the site yet. They're just stored as data. We could have a picture of them if we wanted. Now what we need to do is we need to relate. What I want to do is I want to create a relationship between the director nodes that we made. I worry that something's funny.
No, I just had a very amusing thought that with the Wachowskis, this would be an excellent way to illustrate revisions.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but the other names, because you
Which is
want to
beyond the scope of
cross-reference.
tonight.
Right.
Because somebody would pick up you could pick up an old movie, like something's actually printed and not on the internet.
Yeah.
And it's gonna say Larry, and so I was looking to see, because I can remember the other name.
Yeah.
Larry and-
But let's not do that.
No, not we don't. We've only got 10 minutes left, which is only enough time to make an entity reference field. This is great. By the way, this seems like a big joke, but look how much Drupal core is doing. Drupal 8 core is doing. We'd have had to download like 4 or 5 modules to do this in Drupal 7.
It's Andy and Larry.
Okay. We could add a field called aliases, or nah, that's not right. Okay. So I'm back on the movie review content type, and I'm going to add a new field that lets us reference the director of the movie. So I'm going to add a field. I'm going to select the field reference and content so that we can reference content. We're going to call this field director. And click save. And we're going to say that there can be unlimited directors on any given movie. Save a field. I mean, that seems like a terrible idea to have more than 2, really. But Hollywood's a weird place. So the help for this, so we're going to make these like an autocomplete field, a lot like the tags that we made, the genre taxonomy. So the help message is going to be begin. Type in the name of the movie director. Oh my goodness. Can we, boom. Then select the correct one when prompted. Lemon. Okay, so now we're going to reference content in general, but we really would rather reference content specifically, which is we want to reference only other movie director contents. And we're going to say when shown in this list to sort them by title. Ascending, that'll be easy to tell. So I'm going to create this field, and this field is lets us relate two different pieces of content together. So if I go back and I look at this matrix node and I edit it, I should see that new field, and I should be able to supply the name of these directors, which is, I'm just going to type Wak and add Lana. And then add one more. I'm just going to type Whack and add Lily and save it. So now we should see the directors, which link to their bio. Look at that. And I wonder how else we can decide what that looks like on output. Be interesting if you could go really crazy with it. But let's see.
You can do the rendered entity.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Okay. So I'm going to go to Manage Display for this movie review content type. And I'm going to say, when looking at the director,
You have to change the format.
format from label to rendered entity. Look at that.
Now you see all the fields.
And
Look at
that's
that.
and that's the view mode that you set up in the Manage Display.
Heck yeah. So this would look great if we went ahead and added their
Now
pictures.
that I have never seen. This
Yeah.
is new. It's
Yeah.
a rendered entity.
So rendered entity is going to show the entire node for those directors. Look at that.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that if we, I mean, still, we're super core here. Let's see.
You add images.
I'm adding images. This is Lana, is that right? No, Lily. Dang it. All right.
All right.
I'll name the other one Lily and it'll work itself out. All right, let's see. All right, this is going to be Lana 2. Don't worry. I got this under control. Downloads. Okay. What? I'm not messing with it. Okay, so we're going to add a new image field to the director. We're going to add our existing image field because I don't know why we would need to make a whole new one to the director content type. And I'm going to do that by going to structure and content types and movie director and manage fields. And I'm going to click add field. And I'm going to go to reuse an existing field and select field image. We're going to call this a photo. So scroll down. It's not required. I'm not going to require any of this stuff. We don't need any of that really. I'm just going to keep going. All right. And I'm going to manage the display a little bit, and I want to set up the teaser to be exactly what we want. So the teaser for a director will now include the photo, will not include links. It will be, the photo will be the thumbnail, linked to the content.
Take the label out. Yeah.
Get rid of the photo label. Thank you. We're going to say we're going to trim this down to 300 characters. All right. So now we got us, we're all set up. So there's actually an important part of this system we haven't looked at yet. So so I'm going to go to this content top level to edit our existing content. You'll see that we've got all of our all the things we made right here in a nice little list. I'm going to edit Lily and add the photo. Lily. Save that. And that should take me back to the content page. Great. Now I'm going to edit Lana and add the photo. We got nothing but time. We got 3 minutes to go.
And when you have lots of content, you can filter the list, so you
That's
can
what I
find
was
it a lot
wondering
easier.
what you do when you have lots of content
It's
because.
built in now.
Yeah.
Because that would be,
Yeah, you go here and you say,
Crazy list.
I just want to see movie directors. And you click filter. Or you can search by title. So this is where you manage content. This top level of clicking on content. So, I mean, I think all I need to do is refresh this page. Oh, you got something? What do you want?
You gotta change the view of this page.
Okay,
Manage
yeah,
the display to tell it to render it as teaser and not default.
you're right. So I'm going to go to structure and content types and movie review, and I'm going to manage the display. And what I want to say is that this list of directors is showing the rendered entity, but I want it to render the teaser and not the full mode content.
Oh, so you got the big picture.
Right. Yeah. Save that. Now if I refresh this matrix,
Boom.
nice.
we got, I mean, you know, I don't know why the images are automatically floated left. I think it's a Bartek thing.
Yeah.
We can change themes here in a second. But yeah, look at all that. We didn't code nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly why I want to use Drupal
Yeah.
for these projects. Because that would have been a whole lot of PHP and
Oh, yeah.
SQL
And
queries.
how long did that take?
Yeah,
I mean-
exactly.
Right, yeah. So I'm going to change the theme real quick, even though none of us need to know what the difference in themes are. But this was something I had in mind when I thought that actual newbies were going to show up. I'm not considering Jay a newbie. Sorry.
She's one of us.
So I changed the theme and I hit refresh. You see that our data is still exists exactly how we want it to exist. The only thing that changed is the way that data looks. Yeah, actually, those thumbnail images were also floated left in Bartek. So Bartek is just floating the field image left.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you are deciding whether to reuse an image field,
Mhm.
Would one of the reasons why you wouldn't want to do that is if you wanted to set up different thumbnail sizes? So like if you're a director thumbnail, you want it to be a different size as your movie poster thumbnail?
No, we've
You have
we've
power
actually,
over that in the,
yeah,
okay.
So
yeah,
it's actually image styles is where you would talk about what different sizes. So you only have to upload one image and maybe you upload the biggest image, and then you, as each display mode, you tell it what size to display it. And you can create those. I think it's like large, medium, thumbnail, I think right now in original. But you can create your own image styles. You can tell it to crop
Responsive,
and yeah. Do all
And
sorts
those
of
image styles are linked to whichever,
Do you want to just go to configuration?
yeah.
that
Let me
you're
just,
in,
let's,
not just in
Just
the
to show.
field.
yeah, let's make a new one real quick. So I'm gonna go to configuration and media and image styles. And so here's the 3 that we have off the bat. I'm gonna add a new one that we're gonna call Fun Time because we're out of time. And this is a lot of fun. And basically you just choose what sort of effect you want done on this, and you can have more than one effect. So we're just gonna say scaling,
Rotate it.
rotate it, okay.
I don't know.
Cause it's fun.
Yeah.
It should be rotated.
So we're gonna rotate.
Never done rotate.
125, which is a weird angle. And we're gonna give it the background of, I think FFFFOO
That
is
counts like
orange.
funky instead of fun.
Or we can randomize the rotation for each image. That's
Interesting.
weird.
All right, let's see what
That
it does.
sounds fun.
Definitely fun time.
Yeah. So we're gonna rotate it, and then we're gonna crop it because that's. I mean, and it's showing us an example of what it would do. Oh, I picked yellow instead of orange, but close enough. Rotate and crop. We're gonna crop it right. We're gonna crop it on the bottom right at 300 by 200. Okay, this is gonna be good. Good stuff.
And that shows up as an option on anytime you're dealing with an image.
Yeah, I don't. We should scale and crop really, because here, let me do that. So let me scale first. So you can do scale and crop, or you can do scale and then you can do crop. I'm just going to do this now. We're cropping at 300, so I'm going to scale down to 600 so we don't just lose everything. And then I'm going to make it scale before it crops. There's a lot of options here. See, look, there's our bottom right edge of the corner. So I'm going to scale first and then crop, and we should see a little more of that picture. Yeah. There we go. Okay.
It's so tasteful.
So now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go to structure and content types. And do we want the movie director or the movie poster to look that way?
Movie poster.
Movie poster.
Get more image to work with there.
We're going to manage the display of the movie review. And we're going to say that the poster over here on the right will use the image style of Funtime. Update. Save. Now we need to find our way back to the matrix. There it is. There's our movie poster.
That was magic.
Yeah. This is a website I can be proud of. No, but yeah, so I mean, what's not really showing is that so since we use numbers for the rating system, we can build. Have you messed with views at all? So we could build views that showed that ordered them from like highest rating to lowest, or switch that. We could filter things out by director and whatnot. Basically, each field that we created gives us more power over that content throughout the rest of Drupal.
Sounds like a great topic for our next
month.
session.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, so that is this. Any other questions?
I got it, man.
All right. Good seeing you.
Yeah, no worries.